call this guy out so that he gets shunned and blacklisted the way he deserves to be, right? And then speaking...
That would be good. That would be great, actually. We've been talking about Gabe Hoffman. I said this the other day for years here on the Killstream, and he's been going around, and certain A-logs and certain Kino Casino fans have been pumping this guy up as if he has anything to offer, and it's totally 100% so he can worm his way into some communities and nooks and crannies on this side of the internet, the sector, dissident right, whatever the fuck, all those different areas that overlap, and get them deplatformed, ruin their lives, all because they're not saying the right things about Israeli power, Jewish power. That's just all there is to it. And it's not about, somebody says about, I think it was him, and I like iHypocrite. I've known him for years. I'm not criticizing him, but it's not really about right wing, left wing with this guy. It's about, are you saying what he wants you to say about Jews? That's it. That's it. And if you're not, well, he's coming for you. Gabe Hoffman, by the way, in case it wasn't clear who I was talking about.
This genic little going around ruining people's lives because they're bitter and full of resentment. That brings us to Gabe Hoffman, who Fire Rises, fan of the show, mod, Discord member. He posted this clip from the show on Tuesday where I talked about
did he go over it again?
Gabe Hoffman got Arvel's
Okay,
Patreon
good. This is a this is a follow-up to what we went over, I guess it was yesterday or the day before. So I didn't realize that when I pulled it up. I thought it was just an extended version of that clip, but it looks like it's a follow-up.
Bragging about it on Twitter. He's bragging about how Arvel was making $1,000 a month.
Yeah, Gabe Hoffman doesn't. He portrays himself as right-wing. That has nothing to do with it. It's all about Zionism. Same with Larry Ellison, who gave Gabe Hoffman $80-something million for his Floridian property.
On Patreon.
Larry Ellison, founder of Oracle. Him and his son just bought CBS/Paramount. They're trying to buy Warner Brothers now. It's pretty much a big fucking deal.
And Gabe Hoffman got in touch with Patreon and got him kicked off.
Yes.
And I talked about that. I talked about how Hoffman funds the Kino Casino, which the Kino Casino, the Groypers hate them. So Fire Rises posts this and he tags at Remove Jew Hate, which is Hoffman's alt account. Here it is bragging about getting Arvel banned from Patreon, right? Now, something interesting that came up. Gabe Hoffman is responsible for me losing my Streamlabs, right? So he quote tweets Fire Rises and he says, Lyndon Perry, aka iHypocrite, should be informed by his couple of fans that we got his Streamlabs account banned for promoting hatred.
Hyperbimbo sent $2 on Rumble. Can you explain what's going on here?
I mean, probably not. I don't know. No, I don't know what's going on there. That's weird. That's weird and strange. It's sort of the exact opposite of 1775 coffee. Still haven't tried 1775 coffee? Now's your shot. The 1775 starter kit just dropped and only 1,000 units are available. You're getting the bold dark roast that hits hard, the smooth medium roast, and the vitality mushroom coffee for clean energy and laser focus with no crash. All single origin, small batch, toxin free and mold free. Plus, you're also getting a gold spoon clip because freedom isn't scooped with plastic. A frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's opinions. And a black 1775 tumbler. $170 worth of coffee and gear. Yours for $99. Perfect for the holiday season. This is for the ones who've been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble, wondering if it's actually worth it. Spoiler alert, it is. Go to 1775coffee.com. That's 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. Bold beads, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something, just like Rumble does. Now, let me see what you sent here. We'll go right back to Gabe, obviously, but
That's great. It's so cool just to see your body and how everything's transforming. You're turning back into tar.
I don't know what that is. It says waterfalls of progress. Dude, I have no idea. Is she gonna piss on the couch? I don't know what's going on there. Really, I'm not sure what the context is. I can kind of look off screen too. Thank you, Jay Alert. I appreciate that. Been a while since I've done that one. I slowed the pace down a little bit. I thought it made it better. Okay, let's go. Go.
Jews. He likes the attention, so we ought to report more of his accounts and get them banned too. I'm sure you only contacted Streamlabs to begin with, the most fucking irrelevant, worthless platform. Like if you had to ask me which of all the things you're
Mama
on, which
JF.
one would you want to get banned?
One sec,
from
I'll
if you
play
had to
that.
pick one. The answer would have been Streamlabs when I was still on Streamlabs, because it was like, bringing in like $10 a month from people who could easily just use some different processor. But I didn't know. I got a message in the chat like, hey, LP, your Streamlabs isn't working. And then I tried to go and my link was 404ing. So I didn't know if it was a bug or what. So I gave it a few days. And then I emailed them and they're like, thank you for contacting us. We found that you were in violation of our terms. Is there anything else we can help you with? So I was like, all right, well, whatever. Who gives a shit about Streamlabs? He proves it was him because he shows the email. Although interestingly, he's using a pseudonym, John Smith, when he contacts these people. But it's combating anti-Semitism now at
Wait,
Gmail.
did JFX say something else? I don't think if you're talking about the interview the one interview she did, I thought that was shitty. I haven't seen if she said anything else though.
Copying and pasting
JF was claiming victory yesterday, so I haven't seen what he said today.
In our original report. So he's got all these like timestamps. Look, you'll see the Streamlabs link. Is this even me talking? I don't know, because here he posts he doesn't say the
Well, he
name
doesn't
of
worry
this
about the
video. He
truth.
just
I can
posts
tell
a
you
link
that.
to the video.
Oh, you know what? I was looking through my archives, so I'm trying to get the 2019 archives. I might have to do some kind of file recovery thing for my drive. But I found on this drive that I forgot I had. It's T7 drive, which I also need to repair a little bit. It's acting weird. But I have the Roe v. Wade streams from outside the Supreme Court. And I think there's 3 streams. The second stream is the main one, I believe. And I have them on this drive. So the classic episode that'll next be posted, other than the other one that's on Sector Vision, I'll post that on Rumble too, is going to be at least one of the Roe v. Wade streams. So I found that, which I was happy to see.
Oh, but he also posted his Christianity,
and it might be on
Jewish
Odyssey
psyop,
too. I'm not sure, but it's nice to have here.
which was the debate between Cory Mahler and Adam Green. And then he's like quoting Cory Mahler, and then he's like claiming Jews subverted and destroyed. Look at these timestamps. Now, you expect me to believe that he spent all this time watching my content, looking for timestamps and writing emails, but he only tried to get me banned from Streamlabs?
Yeah,
he
of course
obviously
not.
tried to get me banned from everything, and Streamlabs was the only ones who were like, oh, wow, scary stuff here. Of course, he posted
Streamlabs are always the first to correct.
because one thing that happened 9 years ago was the only thing any of these people have to make fun of me with. My one mistake that I made in life, taking a stupid picture. He was also bragging about Nick Fuentes' Spotify getting banned and saying thank you to everyone who reported it. So I don't know if he asked people to report it or if he's just globbing on to this after the fact.
He does
this
that a lot,
is
too.
Ethan Ralph going over the same story about Arvel.
Who
but
that?
he says, we're not going to listen to this whole clip, but right at the start, he says something interesting about Gabe. The point of this segment is like, who is Gabe Hoffman? And Ethan is going to give us some important context on who this guy is here.
Talked about Gabe Hoffman. I think that stands for Gabriel Hoffman. And as you know, I've talked about him a good number of times here on the show. He is well, he's not formerly Jewish. He's still very Jewish, but former hedge fund manager. He ran Accipiter Capital, his former hedge fund, into the ground by shorting Tesla. That was a very big mistake.
Yeah, Gabe Hoffman is a former hedge fund manager.
A lot of people don't know this shit. Just flat out don't know. And they think Gabe is just some funny little Jewish guy. And oh, he's rich and LOL. Well, okay, let's take a look at the record. And at the same time, he's out there cry bullying about doxing and all this shit. He's the biggest doxer that ever lived. Not even that. Just, he's lied to people's parents and said they were on drugs and all kinds of shit. This isn't even me. This is the people that worked with him he did this to. His allies.
He lost $100 million trying to short Tesla when Elon, this was like a couple years ago when Elon was being anti-Semitic. It's actually fucking hilarious if you think about it. Some random guy on Twitter is like, Jews are the ones pushing anti-white hate. And Elon's like, you said the actual truth. And then Gabe Hoffman was like, I'm going to take my $100 million hedge fund and put all the
I don't know if it was fully related to that, but
I'm not a finance
somewhat,
guy.
I think,
just a broke ass nigga here without a Streamlabs account. He's like, I'm gonna short Tesla, and he lost it all. It went from like $100 million value to like 3 million, and he lost his job. He lost all his clients' money because he was mad at Elon Musk over anti-Semitism. You can't make this shit up.
And he lost all of his clients' money, but he sold his mansion in Palm Beach. I think it was Palm Beach. For $80-something million to Larry Ellison, a true top J. Unlike Gabriel here, who is a street J, Larry Ellison's a real top J, and he paid him $80-something million. So it's not like Gabe is poor. And
so that's the part I wanted you to hear. He sold his mansion for $80 million. This dude is rich. Okay, this guy is rich. In a way that a normie like me can't even fathom that kind of money. And he sold it to this Ellison guy, the same guy who just bought TikTok, by the way, part of this coalition.
He bought part of TikTok. His son, quote unquote, which is him too, right? Obviously, just bought Paramount, which includes CBS and Paramount Plus and all that shit. And several cable networks and several publications. And they installed Bari Weiss, who's a fucking Zionist, fat Zionist bitch, as the editor-in-chief of CBS News. Yeah, it goes pretty deep, actually. And he owns Oracle, which is one of the most important companies in the world. Top 10 for sure. Maybe it depends on your calculations there, how high up on the list, but I think it's undeniably top 10 most important company. And now they're consolidating their media presence in a massive fashion. And it's not like the old hands-off shit either. They're hands-on as fuck with this. And it's been coordinated through Trump, too. He gave a bunch of money to his reelect.
Like, you know, when people talk about the Jews, like, these are the guys. They're not talking about your friend down at the deli or whatever. Yeah. So think about this. A guy with tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah, we're not talking about, you know, Goldstein, who makes your fucking pastrami and rye or whatever, although he's probably got a part in it too, let's be real. Now he's a junior partner still, but damn, they can make a sandwich though. I gotta say, the Jews can really fucking make an outstanding sandwich. You cannot take that away from them at all.
Of millions of dollars and no job. He is spending his days watching iHypocrite streams looking for timestamps to try to get me.
Plus, in theory, perhaps this Colonel show could kind of maybe go into some other circles too, is the thought process. Like her appearing with me penetrates into some other circles for her, but also she's going to upload it on her channel. She said her stream live doesn't get that much play, but her replays does. So she's going to upload the replays on her channel. And maybe podcast feed too. I don't see why not.
And off Streamlabs. Dude.
Especially if it's just an hour to 2 max every week. That's not a very huge commitment. We've done so many shows together. I think that's a good idea.
The fuck, man? It just goes to show that money will not make you happy. Money will not give you a life. Just because you have money doesn't mean you have a life. Getting Arvel banned from Patreon. By the way, Arvel has never said even close to like he doesn't. Arvel doesn't talk about. I don't listen to Arvel that much, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't disparage Jews. I don't think he disparages anyone. Arvel is like, we want to build a little community, a little village of white people. And then TMZ is like, so are Jews allowed? And Arvel's like, no,
that
Jews
makes me think Hassan sat down with TMZ too, and we haven't covered that.
That's it. That's his crime. He's like, I want to live in a little village where there's no blacks and there's no Jews. And then this millionaire Jew is like, I'm going to try to make you broke. I'm going to send out emails trying to make you broke. Wow, man, you really, you know what? You really are changing my disposition here. I don't understand why anybody would have a problem with Jews, actually. Such a good guy. You know, you're really making me come around. I said this too.
He's like the worst advertisement ever for like goodwill towards Jews.
On it. Hey, Liz Crocken, she says, below is the video where Isaac Cappy called out Gabe Hoffman and his network for infiltrating and running ops on Patriots, exposing elite pedophiles. Gabe is a hedge fund manager, former, who did an Open Secret documentary. By the way, I used to retweet the Open Secret account on Twitter all the time, years ago, before I had ever heard the name Gabe Hoffman, and I thought this was just an account exposing pedos. So I actually helped that account grow in a significant way because I've always had a lot of followers. Well, not always, but I did. And I would retweet it because he'd always be talking about these pedos. And I just feel dirty thinking about that, thinking like I helped this guy get clout. Anyway, what Liz says here is he runs a limited hangout for exposing certain pedophiles and or sex traffickers while he protects bigger fish like Rachel Chandler. So Gabe's whole thing is like hunting pedophiles but protecting Jews. Everything he does, he uses to like go after enemies of Jews. And I'll show you an example in a second here. Bear with me. Liz says what Gabe and literally so many of these bad actors have done to me. There's been
likes are free.
Is they will befriend me and pretend they're an ally to me for sometimes years. Some of them have offered me money or tried to do projects with me, and I've always said no because I had a bad gut feeling about these people and knew it was a ploy to control me. After maybe a year, or in some cases after many years go by, if they aren't successful in getting me to stick with a certain narrative, they start harassing, bullying, and gaslighting me publicly on social media and or privately via phone calls, texts, emails. Sound familiar? Charlie Kirk, anyone? Now look at this tweet Gabe made about me in 2018 stating I'm awesome and he's so grateful for my help.
Afternoon Delight show. I kind of like just Afternoon Delight, but I don't know about the IP issue there. That's a song, right?
Forward to a year and a half later, I publicly talked about how I was getting targeted and harassed badly daily after Jeffrey Epstein's arrest in my own home, including a break-in and strangers pounding on my door in the middle of the night, among other horrific things. They terrorized me so bad I had to move out of a home I loved. I spoke about this publicly, and Gabe's response to my targeted harassment was to slander me as paranoid, mentally ill, and claim I'm in a cult because I followed Q. Liz Crocken is awesome, and we are so grateful for her help and supporting exposing pedophiles. With Jeffrey Epstein's arrest, most QAnon LARPers are riding high and deluding themselves into claiming credit. We pray Liz Crocken gets mental health treatment. Yeah, this guy's such a scumbag, dude. And here's Isaac Cappy, who was a Hollywood actor, kind of a mentally ill dude, in all honesty. I don't necessarily believe everything Isaac Cappy said. He was popular in QAnon because he said he was going to expose.
His house he sold to Ellison was about 10 miles north of Epstein's house in Mar-a-Lago. Yeah. That's my understanding.
Was all these Hollywood pedophiles. He's
weird, I know.
Said that Seth Green and Tom Hanks were pedophiles, and he later.
I'm just glad somebody else is talking about this. I know I'm not. I offered a little bit at the start of this, but I haven't dropped a ton, and because we talked about all this shit, but I haven't honestly. You know, I know there's been the weird, ridiculous dust up with Mersh or whatever recently, but he's talked about it. We talked about it, I think, on my show too. Both of us, or on his show. One, iHypocrite's talked about it. A lot of people kind of try to sweep this under the rug, though. Especially the Kino Casino faggots haven't. They've taken the money right out in the open, but they try to make it a joke and, you know, go against Jews, you lose. And they've said all this on air. But that's actually what's happening. They're acting as a battering ram for Gabe Hoffman. And it's not about left and right. It's about Zionism.
Committed suicide.
And are they doing that like in every single case? Does that have to do with their hate on iDubbbz and quartering and all this? No, that's not what I mean. But just being the tip of the spear when needed is super fucking valuable.
You ask, other people say he was murdered. He jumped off a bridge. 2 witnesses were there, said they tried to stop him jumping off the bridge. Some people would say maybe they pushed him. That's the deal with Isaac Cappy. But anyways,
guys, all over the place.
Yeah, they picked
Jack
out
Silbiak.
on the kosher feast. Yes.
girl. And yet, even though this was already out at the time, Gabe Hoffman was still calling Razorfist a pedophile. Why would he do that? Razorfist isn't even like anti-Semitic as far as I know. He's just a faithful Christian. So here you have Gabe Hoffman using his known pedophile hunting account to slander an innocent Christian man and call him a pedophile. And we already watched all this stuff back when this happened in April, May, so I'm not going to rewatch these videos. You can watch them yourself if you want. Here is Tim Pool talking about how Gabe Hoffman was trying to tell Tim Pool to not have Lauren Witzke on his show.
We had a response from Gabe Hoffman. He says, Tim, you just had Lauren Witzke on your show. And he says she's a virulent Jew hater, recently claimed the U.S. government is occupied by Zionists and that Jews in media
Wow, why would she say that?
are foreign agents. Not a fan of those statements. Think they're silly. She's critical of Jeremy Boring.
I don't think they're silly, actually, but
I'm actually with Jeremy Boring on these points. A lot of people are demanding that I silence these voices or not platform them. Have you watched a single episode of my show? I will say this as I tweeted. I will sacrifice everything I own and live buck naked.
Razorfist is a Ukraine war support. Who gives a shit, dude? The fact that you care enough about the Ukraine war to say that, I mean, I'm sorry, but who gives a shit, man? People look for one disagreement to like write off another person, and it can be like the most irrelevant who gives a fuck thing, like, oh, Razorfist supports the, which, by the way, I'm assuming you mean he supports the Ukraine side when you say that. I don't even know. But who fucking cares, man? So what? He supports Ukrainians not getting invaded and killed? Damn. That's crazy.
In the middle of the woods before I drop to.
Yeah, Tim is like so performative. Honestly, I have to take more of a note out of the Alex Jones book of like clip farming. You know, I gotta like act like some kind of badass at least 3 times a show, and maybe I'll have a viral clip come out of it here and there.
My knees to kiss your pinky ring. So when people say Tim
Pool's radicalizing me right now.
That person. Yeah, sorry. I don't live in your world, okay? There are some people I don't want to have on the show.
Extremely rich.
If I think their goal is to lie, cheat, or steal, manipulate, to enrich, to grift, as it were.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Yeah. You know who else you won't have on the show? Any race realists ever. Where's Charles Murray? Is he a grifter? Where's Jared Taylor? You know? Where is like literally anybody? There's like a, you know, Nathan Kaufness even. I'll take at this point. Like they're a dime a dozen, frankly, these HBD guys you could have on the show to talk about that. Never have for some funny reason. But anyway, so if you missed the point, Gabe Hoffman was telling Tim Pool, you're not allowed to talk to Lauren Witzke. This is like his whole life, inserting himself into culture war shit to try to deplatform people, specifically only to try to deplatform people. Now, this brings us to the Kino Casino, who are friends with Gabe Hoffman, funded by Gabe Hoffman. Love the Pie was coping up the chat, trying to say, no, that was like 2 years ago. He only gives $20. We're going to prove here for love.
Oh, yeah, he only gives $20. That's one of their cope lies. By the way,
the Pie, that they're still cozy with this guy and that they don't care about the fact that he's out here trying to ruin right-wingers' lives.
They don't care.
And so, for example, we have this clip from March of last year where, remember when Stone Toss got doxxed?
Oh, I'm glad you dug this up. Notice whose Twitter that is. He's citing, that's Ethan Ralph, me.
Toss got doxxed by Gabe Hoffman. He's the one who doxed Stone Toss. And here is the Kino Casino guys laughing about that.
Here, some people are even saying 1488 PPP. I'm not really sure.
I don't know what that means.
They mean by that. But
Everyone retweet, by the way. Whoops.
Apparently, Rabbi Hoffman's been going throughout the land causing chaos, fucking felting Stone Toss. Fuck, listen, buddy, when you cross the Jews and the Jewish mafia, you fucking lose, pal. Listen there. You have to get on board the train of Zion.
Woo!
Let's fucking rise up. By the way.
You see what they're doing here? They're hiding behind irony. You
Yes.
see that? I know I sound like iDubbbz right now, but iDubbbz wasn't actually wrong. Hot take. The reason everybody hated iDubbbz is because hiding your racism behind irony is cool and fine if that's what you have to do to get away with your racism. Whereas what these guys are doing is hiding the fact that they're condoning the behavior of Gabe Hoffman, who gives them money when he's doxing right-wingers. They're hiding that behind, we ironically love Jews and Zionism.
Yes,
Very
exactly
transparent
correct.
If you have 2%
Of
the
course.
brains of a dead pissant. And then
Well,
here's
a lot
a
of their
tweet
viewers
from
don't.
Gabe Hoffman where, according to this guy, Jeffrey Goldstein, Gabe Hoffman,
Joffrey.
PPP, and Josh Moon all met in DC. They
Yes.
all met up in real life because I guess Josh Moon is friends with all of these people as well.
Yes.
And Gabe Hoffman, whose Twitter account currently is protected, so you can't look at his Twitter account currently, but he posted this picture of PPP outside the Holocaust Museum and I guess jokes that the vacation was just a cover story for mandatory training. So I don't know if this guy is even right in what he's saying, but this is what he's saying. He's saying that Gabe and Josh and PPP all met up in DC
Yes,
IRL.
they did.
And this isn't a thread about Worski was getting
think
called out
Moon
on
himself said that.
Kiwi Farms for texting a minor, and Josh swept it up because Josh is friends
Get
with
your
those
broom,
guys.
slap
for,
nuts.
for those of you who, this is like deep Worski lore, which there's a lot of, but he was busted on Snapchat texting with a minor sexually. The minor told him she was underage and he kept going. Okay, that's who Andy Worski is. If you try to talk about this on, 2019 sounds about right. It's a long time ago. If you try to talk about this on Kiwi Farms, Josh Moon will spurg on you and sweep it up and ban you.
No,
and what Josh
so true. All
does
this
is
is true.
he says that
I'm
story
just
is fake
stunned to see somebody else laying it out there.
because it all comes from this guy Zoom, which is only old fags will remember that name. And he says Zoom made it all up and Zoom can't be trusted, so the story is garbage. However, that has been proven wrong. It
False,
didn't
honestly.
come from Zoom. That's just this excuse. And even if it was true, it'd still be an ad hominem. But regardless, it's an excuse that Josh uses, will remember that, to ban people from talking about Andy Worski caught sexting minors on Snapchat, knowingly sexting minors. Bonus clip, eyewitness testimony from a former IRL friend of Worski from the Miami trip that he does indeed chat to underage girls sexually on Snapchat and IRL.
But so he said he called me up like on the phone. It was like, well, I got hacked, whatever. Like, what do I do? Whenever I lost my account, like whatever, all this shit. Like, how do I fix it? I'm like, dude, I got it. Like, let me help you file the report with Twitter. Like, I'll get your account back. So I filed the report with Twitter saying his account had been hacked. And Twitter got back to me saying, okay, it's been hacked. We'll get you started on the process. We're going to send you verification so that he can verify who he is and get his account back. Blocking the account so that can happen, right? He gets his account back prior to that, literally 5 minutes prior to that. He's like, oh, I got my account back. It's working. I have my login. It's working fine. And then, boom, they lock his account to verify who he is. He already had the password. It wasn't hacked.
So another piece of deep Worski lore that probably not many of you remember or knew about, but there was a scandal where Worski tweeted out the nudes of a girl he was talking
Yeah,
to.
Killstream again. Shocking.
The girl too. I can't remember her name, but I had talked to her a little bit. In
Alex was her name. She's really nice.
DMs. Vaguely can remember her. She left the scene years and years ago. She had like some big tattoo on her chest. Some of you
Butterfly.
will maybe remember seeing that picture. So basically, Worski was talking to this girl. She sent him nudes, and then I don't know what happened. She made fun of his stutter or something. I don't know. But for some reason, he got mad at her, and he tweeted out her nudes and like tagged her in it. You know, just
that happened. And other than me, I don't know too many other. I mean, and Perspic and maybe House and some types like that, Mr. K or something. Not enough people are talking about this ever. It's been swept.
total revenge porn.
Which again, whatever. It's not even moral fagging. It's just, okay, that's an outrage for some people, but somehow Worski gets a pass. And he released a coked out fucking insane video talking about he was going to go on the search for the real revenge porners. And he would cooperate with authorities. He's never said anything else about it. Because obviously that was bullshit.
Revenge porn. You'll never guess what happens, but a lot of people were like, what the fuck are you doing, Worski? They were like, dude, what the fuck are you doing, man? That there's a reason they have laws against this, you dipshit. It's because it's like totally vile,
terrible
scumbag behavior.
Yeah, it's the worst.
And then Worski says, guys, I got hacked. Most obvious fucking lie ever that you'd have to be an absolute retard to believe. And so what this guy is saying is, he was like, oh, Andy, you got hacked. Let me help you get your account back. And Worski was like, oh, no, it's okay. I think I handled it, because he was never hacked. Spoiler alert. That's the kind of guy Andy Worski is. Josh Moon's friend and financed by Gabe Hoffman.
Like the filing with Twitter, because he's like, no, don't do that. I'm like,
he's doing a great job.
You said you need it. I'm like, so filing with Twitter saying his account was hacked.
Right. So Andy tried to stop this guy from filing a report because he knew he wasn't actually hacked.
Locked his account.
By the way, shout out to Kumi. I see he's heading out. I'm about to head out soon too myself, but that's why I was getting to the rabbit.
But it's like, and then he did that block bot. He did the block bot. Everyone blocked like thousands and I was saying, you said we don't. I mean, it was streamed, but you have the underage 17-year-old at the.
Yeah, we really didn't get to go into the Snapchat stuff and some of the other stuff.
But like, long story short, it was the noodle shop during his stream in Tarpon Springs. There was a 17-year-old girl. He didn't know she was 17 at the time, but was hitting on her, and the dad was trying to keep us away from the shop. Hid in a bush at one point, hoping he could get a kiss from her. Once he found out she was 17.
Worski hiding in the bush.
He was hiding in a bush to kiss 17. I didn't even remember this.
Is to try to make out with a 17-year-old, but not.
What the fuck?
Not wanting to get caught by
forgot
their
about
dad. Just like straight up like Chester the molester type behavior here.
This nigga had a trench coat on. What the fuck? I forgot about this. Holy fuck.
Remember. And then we're back at the house and he's texting her, and Phil Lear and I were like, don't do that, dude. She's 17. You can't do that. He's like, well, she'll be 18 soon. Like, I'll talk to her then. We can bring her on the room. Like, you realize, one, that's gross. But two, fans will do the math and say,
they'll figure it out.
Time. Like, she wasn't 18 then. And it's like, oh,
I totally forgot about this.
Trying to talk to her. And I don't know if he kept in touch with her, but there was that. And then, the 14-year-old Snapchat thing. But
well, the whole Snapchat thing, and somebody in chat.
Love the Pie was
I
trying
was
to
pretty
say
drunk during that episode too, so that might be why I don't fully remember.
Their relationship with Gabe Hoffman ended years ago. This is from the election stream announcement of last year. So this was tweeted November 5th, 2024. You can see Worski has me blocked.
Their link did not end. That's horseshit.
Gabe Hoffman was announced as a guest on the election stream, along with a bunch of other winners like Josh Moon and Jaden McNeil. So they had Gabe Hoffman, this guy who they had him on a guest on the show after he doxed Stone Toss.
June 13th, 2025. It's the Friday Scrape the Bottom of the Barrel edition.
Dude, I don't like the pedophilia and the debanking and the deplatforming and the constant incessant lying and slandering. I don't co-sign that, but I like when the fat man talks loud.
Of the show. Thanks for fucking us all, Gabe.
Yeah. Why does Andy Worski always look like he has leukemia, by the way?
If only, that'd be great.
Just look at the different in like flesh tone here. PPP looks like a guy who spends his vacation sitting on a beach drinking margaritas and eating entire pies, key lime pies multiple times a day. And Worski looks like he hasn't had 60 minutes minutes of contiguous sunlight in like any time in the last 3 years. But he also looks like yellow. He looks like jaundiced.
Yeah.
Anti-Semitism levels are rising all around the world.
Buddy.
Thanks
Israel
to Gabe
L.
Hoffman. Like, what's going on, Israeli sisters? What's going on? I thought we had the Mossad team inside Rekida's house, tapping his phone lines, bugs everywhere in the fucking house, secret surveillance teams capturing the hidden footage of Rekida beating his children.
Okay, I don't just...
On the show just a few months ago, this guy who just got Arvel kicked off of Patreon. This is their friend. This is their pal. So that's it. This is your right-wing comedy show. Friend with just a filthy, scheming
Brazilian
who's going to be watching this stream and trying to get me banned. Ethan Ralph was going to like fight Gabe Hoffman. He tweeted that. He's like, Gabe Hoffman agreed to do like an MMA match with me or something. I DM'd Ethan and I said, whatever happened with that? And Ethan said, oh, Gabe wanted me to set the whole thing up.
That's
and so
true.
I just said, fuck it. He was too lazy to do it. Gabe, if you're watching, I'll fight you and I'll set it up. I'll set everything up. I'll get the venue. I'll figure it all out, Gabe. Dude, think of how it would go down.
I think he's like pretty tall too. How tall is iHypocrite? But yeah, Gabe said for me to just figure the whole thing out. And I did message the Tim Loy guy. Tim Loy, I think that's his name. The guy in Tennessee, but didn't really go anywhere. And then I had a bunch of other shit going on. So
you beating the shit out of a Nazi live, dude, this could be your moment, Gabe.
Well, Gabe, the funniest part was he started coping about how he was some big shot collegiate wrestler or some shit. I can't remember now. But
there's a video on YouTube called Big Tech Makes Fun of Gabe Hoffman's height.
Tend to be a good
Look at little Gabe.
like,
Look at little Gabe Hoffman.
iHypocrite 6'4". Well, I tower over Gabe Hoffman. So I can only imagine a 6'4" motherfucker. I don't think he would take that fight. He'd be in for a rude awakening against me, even. But he's really short. That's not edited.
Dude, Dad, Jeff Sucker.
Look at him. Look at the door. I mean, these look like kind of tall doors, but still.
He's like,
Yeah, I mean, the doors do look a little tall, but not that tall.
he's like Beetlejuice size. He's like Beetlejuice from the.
Where he's wearing the jacket and
He's
it's
a
all
little
over
tiny
shit.
guy.
That was the other tell. The jersey is so big on him. It looks like he's wearing his dad's football jersey or some shit.
The luckiest man in the history of the
Are those
world.
15-foot ceilings?
Yeah, you're right that he clashes.
He went
with
from
some of
luck,
the-
not
particularly
from
like
good
in
policies.
the elected.
Look at him.
He doesn't like Mitch
He's a
McConnell.
small
The
guy.
handrail goes
He
up to his
clashes with some of the
shoulder.
politicians.
Dude, you're 5 feet tall. You have millions of dollars. What? No wife, no kids. Watching iHypocrite streams, sending emails to Streamlabs. Just, I don't know. I mean, you have so much money. You would
I've
think
said
life
this.
would be good. So it
You
just
would
goes to
think
show
that.
you know what I mean? I could get money. I could become successful and get money. I could wipe the best goy marker off my forehead. You're going to wake up tomorrow morning and you're still going to be 5 feet tall, Gabe. That's rough. Hey guys, the clip you just...
Gabe is legally a midget. I think that's probably true, actually. Anyway, Gabe Hoffman, the more people talking about him, the better. And I thought that was a really good video. And of course, a lot of my material and sourcing was used there, but feel free. Anybody wants to go over it, I don't care. Use every single clip and piece of Killstream material available to make the case against Gabe Hoffman. I don't care who it is, friend or foe either, because Gabe Hoffman is actually a fucking cancer. A boil on the ass of the sector, a boil on the ass of the dissident right, and just on the ass of anybody trying to speak out against pernicious Zionist power. And fuck this guy and the horse he rode in on. Now he thinks he's going to get some of the actual official, anti-Zionist, whatever, grift that he's on. What's the name of his new organization? Combat Anti-Semitism Now? CAN? Well, it's a can of fucking bullshit is what it is. He's a liar. He's a midget. He's a scumbag. There are numerous stories about this guy's malevolence, and if you're co-signing this guy, if you're hanging out with him and yucking it up like Josh Moon and PPP and sitting there doing whatever shenanigans in the den of iniquity, that is Washington, D.C., inequity too, but still, And Moon was warned by me personally. He came in my chat one night when I was making the case. I think that old lady Denise was on here. Old lady, I say that with respect. And she was telling about what a scumbag Gabe Hoffman was. And Josh Moon came in here. It might have been after she left, or we were talking about her case. I don't remember if she was here herself. She did come on one night. He's like, oh, what's this about Gabe Hoffman? And I laid out the case, short version, to the motherfucker in my chat. Then the next thing you know, he's got his hand out to get a fucking check from Gabe. He wanted to get a slice of that fucking Zionist pie. That's what he wanted. Give a fuck. And if he just flat out admitted that, I mean, you don't have to be a scholar. Just look at the changing rhetoric from all these parties and minimizing this and focusing on that. That's all you got to look at. They don't have to come out and explicitly say, you know, sing Jews rock or whatever, like Kraksky and the fat ass do. And they do that to try to disarm criticism as well. That's why they do it. You also could just not focus on that shit anymore, not really talk about that shit anymore. Focus on trannies, for instance, or woke shit. What was the shit Moon put out the other day? I can't remember. Getting worked up about shit that, yeah, it matters, but it's not really any type of threat to the motherfuckers running this shit. So anyway, I'm glad to see that from iHypocrite. Salute to him. I hope Gabe takes the fight. I doubt he will, but now I'm going to cross over with BYB in like 10 minutes. 10 minutos. The farm, the casino, the street J, axis of online Zionism. Around here it is for real. So his name's in the Epstein files. I almost guarantee you it is. I believe that his name is in the Epstein files. Gabe Hoffman's, yes. Anyway, like I said, I'm glad to see iHypocrite doing it. I'm glad to see anybody doing it. And
okay, guys.
I'll repeat this. Friend or foe, even if this big motherfucker started talking about it, I would salute him. I would stand up and salute him. Now, I don't expect he will, even if he wanted to, because Gabe Hoffman's cozied up with Moon, and he's cozied up with Kraksky, and he's cozied up with Fat Eyes. So, for a lot of people, they're scared.
Thank you for watching this clip. This is Perspicacity. Remember to like and subscribe.